So everyone's good, Justin? You're done crunching?
I'm never done crunching. If there's snacks, I'm going to eat them.
Welcome to Tea with Fran. Hello, everyone. Fran, how are you doing?
I'm just doing fine, thank you.
That is great. Justin, yourself?
I'm okay.
How are the snacks today?
They were good. I don't remember if I ate lunch or not today. So I got here. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty hungry. So diving in.
Good.
I had a banana on the way, but that was pretty much it.
Awesome. Well,
Awesome. You're saying that I ate a banana and snacks. Awesome.
just fill in the void.
Okay, go.
You came up with a good topic for this week, and that is the topic of purpose.
Mhm.
I thought that was really good, Fran. And I really enjoyed brainstorming about it. I just looking up online things about purpose. The difference between a purpose and a goal is something that can be achieved, where a purpose has greater intention and can never be a completed task. So the example I found online was, is Lizzie okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
the dog's coughing.
Yeah.
The example online was, if you can have the goal of being a father, because then you can have a kid. But if your purpose is to be a great dad, that is a lifelong.
Yeah, goal to be a dad's easy. It's just anyone can. I could be a dad, right? You could just have a kid and just disappear.
Yes.
Right? You're a dad, right? You did your job.
Wait, have a kid and disappear?
Yeah, have a kid. Imagine the moment the kid comes out, you just disappear, you vanish.
Vanish.
Wouldn't that be convenient?
Oh, it would be
No,
horrible.
that'd be terrible.
There's, some do it. So
Yeah, you're not wrong. But no, I think you're right. It's kind of the that's, I think being a father is like a great goal, but it's like the purpose of being a father. What's the purpose? It's being a great father. Or just that's anything in life. You have a goal to get there, but have the purpose to be the best.
Yes. Okay. That's good. That's a good way to look at it.
Fran, how do you view purpose?
How do I view? Well, it's the thing that just seems to be alive in me, and I have many. I mean, I'm interested. I've always told you that curiosity is the thing that I'm all about.
Mhm.
It seems like I was born curious. I just want to know. When I look at something, I want to know how it works. I want to understand it. I want to know why we're here. I want to make it better than I've found it. And there are all different ways to do it. And as you know, when I was little, the only thing I wanted to do was dance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because it made me happy. That's because it was easy for me. And then I had no idea that all the dancing I was doing was preparing me to help my mom when my dad disappeared. Then I could teach others to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And by teaching those kids something that I love to do, that prepared me for my life's work, because I ended up being with kids all these many years. Not that I didn't set out to do that, but I set out loving life, enjoying it. And I didn't understand what sense of purpose was. And I loved family. I loved friends. That sometimes that is your sense of purpose.
Yeah.
And you don't have to call it that, but every single person has a sense of purpose. And then you need to find it. And then you know that when I was 17, I fell off a stage and it ended my dancing career. That was it. So at that point, I had to decide what was I going to do after I graduated from high school. So I just looked around and listened to all my friends, and what were they doing? They're all going to college. And I had never even considered it, not for a moment, because I'd already had a great opportunity. I was going to go to the MGM studios when I was 18, and I was going to hopefully be in some musicals with maybe Vera Ellen. You know, there were several people that they had talked to me about that maybe I would look like a sister. And so my plans were made, but it wasn't meant to be. So then I had to go to college. I didn't know what else to do because I was curious. All right. So I go to Florida State University, and my whole life just opened up. When I talked to my advisor, they asked me, what do you like to do? And I said, I just like to learn something every day. I really want something new every day. They said, education is the perfect field for you. And then we had to decide how that was going to happen. And of course, I'd been teaching children.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they had to be age 3 up to where I was in age. So if I was 12, nobody older than 12. So I was with.
Oh, that's what they use as a cutoff. Interesting.
And so that's the way it started. And then when I felt confident about whoever I taught, I could teach adults. But it was interesting because as I went to observe, I was always finding myself happiest when I was with kids, middle school kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, most of them were 10, 11, 12. And that's when my whole life changed. But because it was so emotional and strongly imprinted in my life, I just felt comfortable there. And that's where I wanted to teach. And that's where I spent, from 1960 to 1996.
Who's counting?
Wow.
Right. Yes. But that was, that's my sense of purpose. And I still have things that I am trying to tie up the loose ends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find people that I just want to find again and reconnect with them and thank them for being wonderful friends when I lived in their state, when I moved into their neighborhood, because I lost track of a lot of people as we moved around.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of doing right now, besides cleaning out closets and dresser drawers and giving away certain things.
That stuff's always there. But as far as the people who can't come into your life and had an impactful meeting, tracking them down is pretty cool. So if anyone out there is a PI and is looking for some work, we'll hire you.
And then you two guys came in and you added this other thing in my life that I am now passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
Back to work.
Yeah, back to work. Fran's a big podcast head. You're big into podcasts. So we're gonna have to get you some merchandise. Really start promoting it.
Well, it's so much fun. It really is.
Yeah. I want to ask this to you first, Fran. In that time between the fall and then going away to college,
right?
Did you ever feel aimless?
Oh God, yes. I felt like I couldn't breathe when I found out that even though the pain had stopped in my foot, they took the cast off and I was walking on my foot. I could not go up on the ball of my foot. And then my foot would swell. I tried to wear high heels too. When I dressed up for the prom, I had to take my shoes off because my foot swelled. Yes. And when I realized I was never going to be able to dance again, I thought I couldn't breathe. I couldn't imagine what could I be. Francis dances. That was what everyone said.
Mm-hmm.
And now it was all denied. So I had to do something else.
And what do you think in that time period carried you through it best? Like how would, like, besides then, luckily not going too long until finding that next purpose,
right?
Was it just your, demeanor, your personality that kind of kept you upbeat? Was there anyone there that offered, support through all that?
Or was it just within? Was it just like a feeling you had that's just like, I have to make the best?
I had some really good friends who were always interested in my life. I told you, my life is a good life to look at because it was the community, in a sense, that kind of raised me. I was the only child, but there were so many people interested in me. And so, I had the pleasure of being invited to dinner to different homes, and they would talk to me about, what are you going to do? What would you like to do? Mm-hmm. And so I had conversation with those people. But I think one of the people that did the most about helping me understand what I should do is Doris Gadsden. Doris Gadsden was my ballet teacher.
Okay.
And she finished up. I couldn't dance anymore. And the dance studio didn't end until the end of my senior year. But she took over all my classes. She helped me right to the end. But she always said to me, she said, honey, you have to know that there are other things in this world that you were meant to do. And nothing would have stopped you unless it was something like this.
Mhm.
And so now let's just think about the fun that could be just sitting there waiting for you.
Yeah.
And I had gone to Florida State with the chorus. We were like a traveling chorus, and we had visited there and we sang there. And I had loved the campus. It was beautiful. And I'd never been on a college campus before. And so I knew how beautiful it was. And then I really wondered if I'd be able to get in because it was getting late. Other people had already said, yes, I'm going to Florida State. So when I applied, I wasn't sure I would get to go in, but I made it. And not only that, I told you, I took the test. They offered me a test. They knew that I could not afford it on my own. I took the test and I got a full scholarship.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I am surrounded by helping angels. That's what my life has been like.
And that's probably why you became one, if you weren't one already.
Thank you.
Justin, I don't know if there's ever been a time you'd like to discuss where maybe you felt aimless, or maybe
It's every morning, man. Every time I get up, I'm like, what am I doing today?
why did I ask him? No, yeah.
Oh, shit. Aimless.
Like just where you feel like you're lacking purpose, lacking drive, anything. Obviously, everyone knows you stay very busy.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like lacking purpose and drive. I guess I go through like a slump every now and then where I have like a lot on my plate, and I get to a point where I just kind of burn. I guess I burn out for a few days. Everything's just kind of in disarray, and I just have to kind of take a step back, kind of reevaluate what I'm doing, reorganize it, and kind of validate why I'm doing it, and say, hey, you're doing this because of this. This is gonna, you're gonna do this for this long to get here. Do this to get here. So it's just, I guess I have to give myself reassurance in a lot of like what I do,
So
and then that holds on for however long. But every week, I feel like almost like month, like so much is changing, and I get involved in so many different things, and like I'm on this path, and this path has been great. This past like year has been phenomenal. So I'm just maintaining the course, and it gets bumpy at times. As just everything in life, you're gonna have a moment where you're just like, oh, shit, should I have done this, or why did I do this, or why didn't I do it that way? It's you can't really harp on it. You just kind of, it is what it is. And it's like, I made thousands of decisions that I probably regret, but I made, thousands that I'm fortunate of. So it's just the balance, just the way of.
So it sounds like more you lose sight of the purpose. Not that you don't really have one. It's just
No, I have a I have a purpose, and I am somewhat strategic as far as sometimes to get ahead, you have to take a few steps back. And I've learned some hard lessons that way, but I wouldn't trade that for the world. Cause there's what's that Rod Stewart song where it's like, I wish that I knew what I knew then when I was younger or whatever. It's like, I wouldn't want to know everything young, because then it takes away the beauty of the world. And as far as learning's a powerful thing. And when you have something that resonates within you, and it's like, oh, wow. And it opens you up to be a different person. It's just like, those are the moments you cherish.
Have you had any moments in your life that have drastically changed what you would say is your purpose? Fran has her fall.
Yeah, I have some that I keep. Yeah, I've got a few. Yeah, there are a few that I hold tight. They're good. I mean, they're as crazy as they are. It's just that there's so much good in bad.
So Fran kind of mentioned some of her purposes right now. Fran wants to help others and look for answers. Yeah. Do you have any purposes that you keep at the front of your brain that you're trying to do that you want to share?
I think for me, it's probably, I'm the type of person, I like to get, like, whatever I put on my plate, I want to get it done. Like, I like to be the person who executes. I want to be the one making sure this is done. And like, so holding myself to my standards of where I am with work and projects in my life, and just maintaining the course and setting realistic goals. But I think that's going to help me fulfill as I hit milestones in my life. It's always one to look back at. Oh, like, this year I did that year I did that. Just something like where
so completing your goals is your purpose.
Yeah. And also put out, whatever I'm doing, I want to put out the best best possible product, best, whatever it is that I'm doing. I don't want to sell myself short. And I want people to recognize me for me, and like me giving everything to it.
Mm.
So that's
Okay.
where like, even like, I mean, I think like work, I'm very on, I'm very on top of like certain things that I do. And even in stand up, like as much as it is like about me on that moment in time, but it's also much about the people there. And I want them to have the best, that their best night. So it's everything that I've ever, everything I create, I want someone to look at and be like, wow, that's cool. Like whatever it is, I want it to resonate, and that my voice, whether it's heard, seen, or felt, to know that, oh, that was a, that's a good impression, whatever.
Fran, when you think of Justin, is there any specific thing that comes to mind that like that's his purpose? I would say entertain others and interact with others is definitely
Well,
a purpose of Justin.
with Justin, he is like a Renaissance guy. He truly is.
Midnight.
I think this is, it's so interesting to see someone who has so many talents. There's this creative force that's always in his life, and he has to create. If he doesn't create, things aren't right. And so he keeps finding those things. And a person like this makes the world a much happier, brighter spot. And that's what he's about. And when he enters the room, I can feel him before I ever see him. It's just, I can feel his energy sitting over here.
Yeah.
He has an energy field that's unbelievable. Yeah,
You
so
can almost hear it.
I don't know, Justin, how you ever sleep at night.
You know what? Sometimes I wonder that. Sometimes I'm just so wired. Half the time I'm just like, what? I'm not sleeping tonight.
Oh man. Yeah, Justin does have a certain energy, and he's at a high frequency.
Yes.
That's where he thrives at.
And I don't know how you pick and choose all the things that you want to do. The thing that is so good is that inside you have this courage to step out and do any one of them. You're not the least bit hesitant about doing it.
Well, I think it's funny because I look back, it's like now I have so much stuff within arm's reach where here's my end goal with it. Everything's within arm's reach, but you have to take the time and on each of those things and nourish them along the way, right? If I put all my time into one thing, I'm going to let the others fail. So I've kind of hit this point in my life where I found the perfect blend of what I'm working on. And now it's time to just focus in on that and see the results. And there's going to be a lot going on in the next year.
I know. It's exciting. We're not telling, but we're excited.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
I'm going to be a dad.
All right. Now you've asked us. Now we want to know about you and your purpose.
When I was thinking about this,
Yeah.
I kind of felt the first things that came to mind, I kind of felt selfish because I felt like my purpose was, this is just last night when I was thinking about this, was to travel, meet others, and do what I enjoy. And I kind of feel selfish with that being the case, but when I think back on the ways I have traveled and met others, like when I was working for the Park Service,
Yes.
because the other thing I have here is like be a force for good. I felt like I was
Yes.
in like the way I live like my day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
So overarching, I definitely just want to
Yes.
be a member of the Army of Good
Yes.
and just enjoy what I'm doing. Because when you meet
Right.
folks that are unhappy, I just don't want to be that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be unhappy.
Well, you wrote a book of poetry called Bound to the Road, and that's you. You've always been traveling. I don't know how many states you've gone to, whatever it is, but like you're always traveling. So I think, that's part of you, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just that, the internal drive, that internal purpose mechanism.
Yeah, so you have a map of like all the places you've been to, like all like national parks, right?
Yeah.
Now, what do you do when you get to all of them? Is it just, oh, we're done? Are you going to revisit some, or is it on to another continent, or is it just like you filled your purpose? Like, I've traveled the United States. It's more than that.
No, because things are always changing. There's
Yes.
new things to see, and then the joy of revisiting places. I've been to the Grand Canyon now 3 times.
Yes.
And I think 3, yeah. And the next time I go, I'm only going if I'm like hiking rim to rim.
Oh.
It's just you go somewhere multiple times and always think of a new way to experience it.
And you
Yeah.
also know the places not to go too.
Yes.
You know a few of those.
I know a couple
It'd
places.
be a great
Yeah.
what's it, the people who do like the vacations for people,
Yeah.
like, what are they called?
Travel advisor?
Travel advisor. Yeah, they call it. It's like, yeah, so it's me, my wife, my 3 kids. It's like, all right, you're gonna want to go to like Arizona this time of year, this and that. Like,
Yeah.
just be a phone. Just
Mhm.
literally have a phone for that. Just be
Yeah.
a travel advisor.
That would I used to think that'd be like the best job, but now everyone just plans their travels online, and
Right.
only business people, I think, go by travel agents. But we all have our purpose. Fran, question for you and for all the parents out there. How did having kids change your purpose?
Oh.
Because it sounds like
Big
you get to
time.
school, you get to college, you
Yeah.
find education
Yes.
and teaching others
Yes.
as a driving force to,
Yes.
especially, teaching little ones.
Yes.
Obviously you have, a certain connection with children,
Yes.
and then you have 3 of your own.
Yes. Well, it changes everything when you become a parent, because then it's like looking at forever, and you want the most for your kids. You want to expose them, enrich their lives. A lot of the things I was doing in the classroom, I really tried first on my own kids, for sure. But when they're little, that's a very different kind of thing. I mean, you're talking about changing diapers and
Yeah, they need
that's a different thing. But as they got older, this was the whole thing, was to make them also want to know more. When you're looking at something, I would always say, why do you think they built that? What is it? Or when we had a story, why did they write this story? What is it they want us to know?
You're raising a bunch of philosophers.
I don't know. But, it's wonderful. They're all college graduates and they're all doing fine. So it worked out fine for me. But my whole life was being with kids. And so that helped me as a parent too.
Good.
Very much.
I like the way you view things, because you're so good at viewing it on like the micro scale. It's like, how does a pen work?
Yeah.
And then like zooming out is like, well, why do we have pens? What can you do with pens? Where did pens and that macro view where
And then it goes to microplastics.
And then, is there a better way? I always want to know if there is a better way. I have this idea that as generation after generation comes along, that we all are here to like let all the boats rise.
Yes.
We're all helping each other, even when we aren't aware of it, because there is a touching, there is a ripple effect for everything that happens. And we don't get to see it always. Once in a while, somebody will come back and tell you.
Yeah, that's all, everything that thing
But
that happens.
we're
Cause and
all-
effect, essentially.
Butterfly
Like
effect,
right
all
now,
that.
right now, what we're doing right this minute is touching a life and changing that.
Yeah.
And then they're reaching out and they're doing the same thing, and things are getting better. They are.
Yeah, what has always fascinated me is just how interactions with somebody can be a one-time interaction or a short time. Like
Yeah.
when I was on a road trip a couple of years ago and I saw somebody camping in the back of their truck, that altered my life, which has now altered my girlfriend's life. And like, it's just so like, I only just saw it. Like, I don't even know how those folks found out about it. And just that ripple of just seeing something. I'm sure it's happened to you, whether consciously or
See
subconsciously.
something, it's like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I want it. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just really cool how that works. And then I don't have this quote exactly right, but it's kind of well known. And I think it fits for us doing this podcast. It's don't let the idea of perfect get in the way of good actions. Because if you only wanted to execute something perfectly, you probably will never execute anything.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
like
like,
don't focus on being the best. It's like focus on being your best, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Just let your life speak.
Okay.
If you do, just be the things you believe, and never give away your values. Don't step away to try and be like someone else. Remember, be yourself.
That's our purpose.
That's it.
Fran, I like that what you said before about children or having children. It's like looking at forever. That was
That's
nice.
what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a few more questions just, for you friends.
Is this the mailbag?
No.
Okay.
This is still on purpose. And I also, they have like studies out there where having a sense of purpose helps us deal with stress. Helps someone
Well, that's
handle.
it helps you solve your stress 100%. Having a purpose is knowing that, hey, I'm dealing with the stressful time to get to here. Without going through the stress, I can't get there.
Yeah.
So people who hate on stress, you're going to live with it. Stress is never going away. Stress is going to be there till the day you die.
That's right.
Learn to deal with it.
I just find it cool that science backs up.
I do too.
The importance of
That's
having purpose.
good. Yeah.
So just some more questions that we had gone over is just, so now looking back, how do you feel about what your sense of purpose was and what you completed in that as you look back now?
As I look back, and I was looking back.
I think you should be proud.
I was looking back today and thinking about how I was totally unaware how important dancing was to earning enough money to help my mother at the right time, to get me off to college because that's where I needed to be, to find my wonderful husband. And that's where we met. And then we had the great journey of going through the different states. I never knew that, but being a teacher, I was always able to find a job. It's a wonderful thing. And I was always able to be with kids. And it was just the way I would want it. I would want to do it all the same again. Even falling off the stage, I wouldn't change a thing.
That just shows how happy you are with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I never realized how it would all fit together, how everything that I learned would help me all along the way. Yeah. You're not aware of it. When you're a kid.
You don't realize it when you're a kid, that's the beauty of it though. Because if you knew right away to be so, not, questioning things, you had the answers to everything. Well, it'd be boring.
Right.
Be done. Be a kid, you'd have it all figured out and you'd be done.
And I never knew I'd live in New Jersey, but it's the crossroads of history. Everybody was always going up to Boston, back down to Philadelphia. We're full of historical sites. We have mountains, we have beaches, we have wonderful cities, we have culture, we have music. It's a wonderful place for me to be. Yeah. I don't want to be anywhere else. Just here.
So as far as the present and the future, you're just going to keep chugging away,
Well, now I'm at the point when you're 83, you don't look far in the distance. You really think about the day.
There's much more around you. And
when I wake up in the morning, I say, oh, I've got another day. And the day unfolds and I get to see old friends and, I'm so lucky to still be walking. There are people my age who are in wheelchairs, and I still get to see my kids and I get to watch the animal life that's all around this house and all the blooming flowers and the trees and everything out there feels like it's alive with me. This is something I didn't have when I was younger. I didn't feel this energy that comes from all of this aliveness. I used to always love hiking. That's something I've always loved doing. I like to just be out in the wilderness, but I didn't know why I like to be there. Now it's as though I have this feeling
stronger connection.
We feel we're alive together. It's like I can talk to the trees. It's like they can talk to me. I mean, we're not really talking like this, but we're feeling each other. Yeah. And I feel like they care about me here. And I certainly care about them and their welfare. And I can walk by a plant and say, you need water. Okay. It's just different. I have grown in my understanding of life force. And it is a molecular.
Yeah, that's where we went over last week, where it was as much as like you're very, where you are now, and you're very like full circle of what's going on around you. Like, like I guess it's like you're saying, not, you think of the, today and the now, not so much in it, forward, but like you appreciate everything full circle around you.
You bet. It's different and it's wonderful.
That's great.
I hope you get to be my age.
Your age and healthy. So. That's a part. That's a part of it too.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
You got to exercise the mind and the body.
Yeah.
My great aunt is 95, still lives alone, walks to the grocery store in Brooklyn.
She is wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I met her.
If she would get hearing aids, she'd be even better. But
Honestly, every time I see her, I'm just yelling at her. I'm just like, whatever. She
remembers you.
It's
She
fun. Oh,
remembers
she knows
what you
me,
have going on, but
yeah.
you're just yelling at her.
Oh, she's lovely.
But I've been at her house and she has like a book. It says like superfoods for aging. Like she's very aware of, maintaining the body to keep things going.
She's an amazing woman and an inspiration to me. She could be my big sister.
There you go. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I have here for purpose. Justin, I don't know if there's any other aspects of purpose you want to discuss. Fran, I don't know if you have any notes here we didn't get to yet.
No, honestly, I just did a good job emceeing it.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Justin, what advice do you have for folks that maybe feel like they don't have a purpose?
You know what? If not having's a purpose, your purpose, embrace it. No, I mean, that's terrible. That can lead you to dark places. I feel like you just I don't know. I mean, that's a very loaded question. If you're having a tough time figuring out where your purpose is, just be very conscious. Take a day to realize, like, whether it's a week, do it on like a weekday and a weekend. What are you doing during the weekday? Okay, right? You wake up, you do this, you go to a job. At the job, you talk to a friend, right? What do you talk about, right? So it's just like be conscious of everything you're doing. You might find something in that. It's a diamond in the rough. And on the weekends, what are you doing? Are you getting up and not doing anything? Are you laying in bed staring at a wall? Well, is that wall, does it need to be repainted? Go repaint the wall. Go do something. I don't know, like find something. Go do something. I think that's good advice. That's probably the best thing.
Find something. Fran, any advice?
I'm just looking to see if there's anything we didn't hit on.
Or, real quick, sense of purpose. Have it write in. We want more questions.
Yeah.
You know what? You just have a random question.
Yes.
Write in.
That would be great.
We're always looking for more Fran mail.
And then your sense of purpose is waiting for the next episode to hear what we have to say. There you go.
Always waiting for the next episode. That's a great purpose to have. Yeah, I think purpose is a great topic. This was great, Justin.
Yeah, I don't want to say it anymore because it's like purpose is like the words, like, when you say a word a lot and it's like starts becoming like something sounds wrong about it, doesn't sound like a real word. That's what it sounded like to me right now.
Yeah.
So before we lose sense of purpose, I'm not going to say it anymore.
All right. How about a little Fran mail?
I'd love some. Okay.
All right. So don't forget, folks, we love the questions. And this was a good one. It was directed at Fran, but Justin, we want to hear your thoughts as well. It was, would you ever get a tattoo? Is there any tattoo you would get now or that you maybe wish you had? Like, what are your thoughts on tattoo? But first, would you have ever gotten one?
Probably not, because when I was a little girl, my mother said to me, "You are so lucky. You have this beautiful, strong body. Don't do anything except take care of it. Don't change it in any way." She was very upset when I had my ears pierced because that changed it just a little bit. But that was my lesson. And I have a sign in the bathroom about taking care of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only place you have to live. Okay. So, I wouldn't mind trying a henna tattoo because I could wash it off.
Yeah.
But see, I know because of my curiosity that I am going to find out other things. And so if I got a tattoo a long time ago, I'm not the same person I was a long time ago. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. And then I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want it to speak for me in any way. So no, but had I had a life on the water, if I had lived, I don't know, up in Maine and went sailing a lot where I might fall off the boat and drown, I would have had my name tattooed somewhere on my body, so that if somebody finds me, they know who I am.
I got my name tattooed on my back.
Yeah, just in case that happens to me. And I really love being on the water, and I do know how to swim, but there are accidents on the water.
Yeah.
So that would be the only reason I would have a tattoo.
Just return my body. Well, they'll do dental records. They got forensic. Why? I don't know.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
I want you to know, I know a great temporary tattoo artist, my niece.
Oh.
And she can come over and she could put a carrot or
Why
a rabbit.
Carrot is the first thing?
No, that's what she has
Oh,
in
okay.
her bag of temporary tattoos. Maybe a flower. I'll let her know that you're
that would
interested in getting some.
a flower would be
some ink,
lovely. I
yes.
love flowers. I love flowers.
I do like what you said about tattoos, though. Like, you got it at like a certain point in your life. And it's like, now I wouldn't have got it.
Yeah.
So like, I look at all my tattoos and I could tell you where I was when I got that and where I was in my life too. And maybe like sometimes it's like, you point out, it's like, oh, I was going through this, or this was, I remember I getting this because this was going on in my life. So it gives me a sense of like, oh, like it allows me to pick up a piece of the past, which, I mean, granted, my tattoos, a lot of them don't have meaning. Some of them do. Some of them are just random. I go in there, I'd have an appointment scheduled and I'd pick like 3 random ones, put them on. But some of them, I mean, I can still think back of where I was in my life when I got that on me, like that moment, like.
So they're really for
So
you.
it's a timestamp.
They're all for you.
Yeah, they're all for me.
Well, someday when you're in your bathing suit in the summer, tell me the story. I'd like to hear it.
We'll make a whole episode.
Oh wow!
out of it.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting.
I'd
I
love
have my
to.
legs. I got a lot on my legs. So.
You have that scary woman on the
Yeah,
back.
I do have a scary one on my leg. I went to a buddy who's a tattoo artist, and he didn't do a good job on it. I mean, I'm gonna call him out. I mean,
I accidentally saw it when you were wearing shorts.
Yeah.
I know. I want to hear the whole story though.
Yeah, we'll go through that. Yeah, we can.
All right,
tattoo.
we'll save tattoo
Yeah.
questions for
Okay.
for when we document yours.
Yeah.
And people, write in your thoughts on your tattoos if you would ever get one, because a lot of people do.
Oh, I know. They're very popular. My granddaughters have lots of tattoos. But the thing about them sometimes is that what they're wearing doesn't go with the tattoo. And so you're kind of like, I don't know, you stand back and you try to figure out the whole story here.
Yeah.
But it would have looked better for the garment if it hadn't been competing with the tattoos. I can't help but say that.
The cotton comes first.
They know how I feel. So when on birthday Monday, I used to say, "This is not for another tattoo," and then you know what
money.
then you know what they would do.
Go get another tattoo.
They would give the money to one of their sisters so they could have the tattoo.
Oh my God.
So they worked it out. So
A loophole.
that's
that's
what they did. Oh, they're very clever and very beautiful, all 3.
I wonder if any of the money you paid Justin when he was younger funded one of his tattoos.
I don't know.
I don't know. No, I mean, no, because I really didn't get. I think my first tattoo I got when I was like 19.
Okay.
And then it is once you get one, it's just it's that much easier to get a second. And then once I get to a point where it's just like, at this rate, I just keep going.
Does it hurt when you have one?
Yeah. Well, no.
Only one way to find out, Fran.
No.
You get one. No, I'd get a T with Fran. TWF. I'd get a TWF tattoo. I'd get a T with Fran.
Fran,
tattoo.
draw what you want Justin to get tattooed on him. Draw a little T mug or something.
Yeah,
Justin
I
will
would
get
do it.
Okay, I'll think about that.
Yeah, and I'll go get a towel. I'll put it like
And
somewhere
you-
on my leg or on my arm or wherever.
You would really do that?
Yeah, a little. Yeah, if you want to do, I mean, I don't want to do like a full teacup across my chest, but like, no, do like a small little one. Yeah, I'd get a tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Where's your tattoo, Kevin?
I don't have any tattoos.
Oh,
No. I got enough for.
I'm glad to hear that. You don't need any tattoos.
I just grow my hair out crazy. That's, less permanent.
No, but that's just you.
Yes, it really is.
So the tattoos aren't me. Is that what you're saying? That's just you. The tattoos aren't me. That's what I'm getting at.
He's a man without tattoos.
Yeah.
That's
And I'm
Kevin.
just tattoos.
you-
I'm not a man. That's
You
it.
are a man with tattoos.
There it is.
See, that's the beauty of this. You each are so unique on this earth, and it's wonderful to know.
And
you.
we're not even here for. I mean, we're here for a fraction of the universe's time, but our time it feels so long. And as you progress through life, it's getting shorter, man. I mean, I need 36-hour days. I'm tired. These 24-hour days aren't cutting it. I need an extra 12. I need an extra 12 hours a day.
So Fran said something before, and the way I wrote it down is the future is much closer as you get older.
It
The
is.
future is much. Wow.
And that was because the
is.
past seems pretty far away
Mhm.
as you get older. So
Yep.
that was, I was kind of freaking out in my head thinking about that.
And I think too, like, as far as like me, like being in like, I want to stay as healthy as possible because I am in really good shape, especially not even like, obviously cutting out alcohol is going to make me live a little longer, I think.
Oh yeah, your liver is happy.
My liver's at least happy, bearing no other ailments, whatever happens. But I want my body to just, I know this is just a vessel and I'm very much aware that my figure, my tattoos, whatever, are going to be left behind. I'm going to be traveling through wherever, but I want to, like, while I'm on this planet, I want to take good care of this machine. I'm fine leaving it. When it's time to go, it will be time to go.
Yes.
But I want to make sure the vessel I'm in is able to do the things where my brain is still wanting to do it.
Perfect. Good.
That's great. I think that was a great Fran mail question. That's why we love them so much.
Yes, we do.
Thought-provoking.
Yes, very much.
Well, before we get to the closing segment, Fran, you said today was your mother's 104th birthday.
Yes.
And she has written one of my favorite poems of all time. And if you would be so willing to share with Justin and I and all the listeners.
I will. My mother did not realize that she was a very special poet. And I happened to send in one of her poems, and she won a big poetry contest. It was the New American Merit Certificate. And this was in 1987 that she won this. And this is the poem I sent in. Now, my mother used to pull off.
Hold on, Lizzie's, the dog's coughing, Lizzie. So I don't want her to get over that.
When my mother would be driving along in the car, she'd say, "Oh, I hear it." And she would pull over, find a place to pull over, open her purse, and pull out an envelope or anything she could write on and sit down and write her poem. She heard the poem coming to her, wherever it's coming from. And she had to write it then, because if she waited till we got home, she wouldn't remember it at all.
That's what happens.
Her poetry simply came through her.
I do. I have a habit too. I sleep with a pad next to me, and also like my phone notes. Like anytime I have a joke that comes to mind, I'll stop. Be like, oh, hold on one second. I just have to stop and put it in. Because if I don't, the amount of stuff that I lose, not take. I'm like, and I have stuff where it's so good. I'm like, I can't forget that. I'm like, I'll never forget that. And guess what? I forget it, and it's gone.
Well, I'm going to have to take this ring off here. This is a little dolphin ring.
Ring stuck on the book.
And we went on a Windjammer cruise, and this was my ring from the Windjammer cruise. All right, here's my mother's poem.
Yeah. Right.
My mother was born in 1918, and she would be 104 today, but she never made her 70th birthday. It's called Are All the Children In? I think oft times as night draws nigh of the old farmhouse on the hill, of a yard all wide and blossom-starred where the children played at will. And when night at last came rushing down, hushing the merry din, mother would look around and ask, "Are all the children in?" 'Tis many a year since then, and the farmhouse on the hill no longer echoes the children's feet, and the yard is still, so still. But I see it all in the shadows that creep, though many years have passed since then, and I can still hear mother lovingly ask, "Are all the children in?" I wonder if when final shadows descend on our last short earthly day, when we say goodbye to the world outside, all tired of our childish play. When we step out into that other land where mother has for so long been, will we hear her ask just as of old, "Are all the children in?" My mother was one of 11 children.
Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
And happy birthday to your mother.
Thank you.
This has been Tea with Fran. Know your purpose. We're here for you. Find us on Instagram, YouTube.
Yes.
teawithfran@gmail.com or
Please.
teawithfranmail@gmail.com.
Yes. Yes.
Till next time.
Till next time.